are back with yet another episode of R&R. It's Jamerson, Ballard. I'm the host. What's happening, man? I don't know if y'all noticed, but I've been, I don't like to date the episodes, but I've been pulling this off about every Wednesday. So happy Wednesday. Yeah, man. We here, man. I'm late. I don't like to be late to stuff. Oh. Let me turn my do not disturb on, because don't like to get disturbed while I'm just, cooking. But let me do one more thing. Oh man. I usually do this before the episode starts, but I gotta put the link in the episode so people can get involved if they decide they want to come in. But yeah, today's episode is entitled Stop Waiting Until You're Ready. It's a trap. Yeah, I tried to think of a smoother way to say that, but that's pretty much the best I could do underneath the circumstances. But yeah, stop waiting until you are ready, because ready is a trap. And it's like, what are you talking about, Jamerson? I don't get it. Like, look, man, I've noticed that, and even with me, and this is, a lot of these episodes will be for people that were like me in the past, and this is basically like future me telling the past me, what you'll need to do to get to the next level. And if you're waiting on a feeling of readiness, or you're waiting for a certain point to where you'll be ready, you're wasting your fucking time. I'm not going to sit here and say you'll never be ready. You know what I'm saying? But it's like readiness is like it's born the minute you decide to start. If you're waiting for a point where you're not going to be nervous, you're waiting for a point where you'll just be perfect, it's almost never going to happen. Every time, right before I'm about to go out, I'm a little nervous, if I'm honest. And it dissipates as I get started and I get into it. And it's easier the more you practice, but it's almost necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, once I get the certain amount of equipment, you really want to have your, when it comes to stuff like this, production quality and all that is imperative. But like I said in a couple of previous episodes, man, like, the hustle don't come with the sack. You can have all the equipment and the aesthetics and everything, but you're not going to activate properly until after you actually get started. I mean, some things you'll probably be able to prepare for more than other things. You don't want to go out there totally unprepared, but I told a buddy of mine earlier, it's like waiting until you get a Bentley before you decide to learn how to drive. And he thought that was a dope analogy, but I'm just like, look, or are you gonna wait till you get the perfect moment? Then now I can start. Like, it's not that it can't work like that. It just, it's not necessarily. I don't even know if it's supposed to work like that, because it's a lot of things that need to be rehearsed and bugs need to be worked out, but you won't know that until you actually get involved. And you don't want to appear unprepared. You don't want to look crazy. You don't want to make mistakes, but these things have to transpire in order to work out the bugs. You have to get involved. You just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other one. It's really crazy because it's almost like, once you get started, the test comes once you think that you got it all figured out. And then when things fall apart, how do you handle that? Are you able to stay poised? It's, you got curveballs that are coming at you, things that you didn't anticipate sometimes that come out at you. And it's like, what you gonna do? Quit? Like right now, I got a project going, and it's like, talk about some unexpected turns, but the show must go on. It just simply must go on. I'm not gonna let setbacks stop me from proceeding forward. I watched this show called Undercover Billionaire, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a pretty dope show, right? But in the season that I'm watching now is a guy that, he's trying to do a beer in a barbecue situation, and he just keeps running into unexpected, unforeseen circumstances. He didn't got to the point to where he bought a car, sold the car, bought another car, sold that car in order to come up with capital, because he's the goal of the show is to build I think $1 million business in 90 days. From like $100, after they drop you in the middle of nowhere, you can't use any of your contacts. You have to be able to do this strictly with the knowledge that you have from winning before. And I mean, it's difficult. It's difficulty that's going to happen, and you can't shy away from it. But what I want to get out more is what it's got to be your why. What is your why? Your why has to almost be so important to you that it drives you through and past the points of adversity. Because if you're trying to procreate, you know what I'm saying, and like the fate of the world rests on you getting this lady pregnant, and you ain't never had sex before, is you gonna let your inexperience stop you from? No, you this has to happen, and you have to find that within you, like in order for you to push past your inhibitions or your fears. It would behoove you to find an appropriate why. You know what I'm saying? Like, because no change it's inevitable. But I think I mentioned this on my last episode. Like, a guy said that nobody likes change but a wet baby. You know what I mean? And you have to get into this attitude where it's like, we all talk about being a CEO, right? Like, we all talk about being the head of a business or owning your own business, but CEO for a lot of us should stand for change equals opportunity. And y'all can take that with you, because it does. Change can equal an opportunity. It is going to be scary when you go from going from no school to the first day of school, or you go from fifth grade to the middle school. Like, those things are like, I mean, unless you've been to these, the school, like one of those schools, like where you go, everybody's the same person. I mean, like, you've been the same people the people you're gonna see at this next school, the people you've been seeing, is like whatever. But when you go into a whole different environment, you're changing your surroundings, you're elevating to a new level. When you play a video game and you go from the third level to the fourth level, it's like, I like the third level. I know how to beat that. You just gonna stay on the third level? No. And there's almost no way to prepare what's going to happen for the fourth level unless you just go through it and, you fail. But again, the loss is the boss's cost. You're going to lose. You have to be so okay with losing that it doesn't faze you anymore, and you just learn from it and you fail faster and go on to the next thing. You know what I mean? You can try to anticipate what a fail might come in and eliminate a lot of it. I'm trying to think of the name of this book that I'm about to give, but it'll come up later, because when I read it, you'll hear it coming out. I won't be able to keep it to myself. But it's basically about, like, I think it's, about selling out before you start. When I say selling out, I'm like, you actually, instead of you just creating a product and hoping that it sells, you do more preliminary work. You send out emails to potential clients and ask them what kind of seminar they would like to see, or they want to see this or that, like, with this star or whatever. So you basically sell out of the tickets for your situation, or you sell the book, or you sell a car. Like Elon Musk would sell a car, pre-sale on the car, before he actually develops the car, and he'll use that pre-sale list as like, a ploy to get funding for said prototype. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, there are ways to mitigate failure, to prevent failure altogether. Some people just want to write a book. I'm gonna just write this book, but bro, you're writing a book just because you want to write a book. I'm not saying you shouldn't write the book, but it's like, is there even a desire for the book? Who wants to hear that? Nobody cares about Ray just because Ray, but I'm just living my life as Ray. Nobody, who? Maybe it's something in there that you can draw from specifically that people want to hear about, like, how you get over a loss, or, losing a child, or, Lord forbid. But like, some people are going through that, and they're going to want to see how you got through that. You know what I mean? But other things, it's just you just living in the projects, or you living as a, in the trailer park, it might not do as well as you think it will. So yeah, by all means, prepare. But if you're waiting till you're finally ready to start, then you're probably always going to be waiting. And you scared, or you too scared to fail, and you freezing up. So you just like, I just got to make sure I don't fail. Like, bro, it's not like you're never going to fail. You have to be okay with failing, but it's not the failing or the staying down that keeps you. You guys got to keep getting up, bro. So that's for those of you who needed that. I'm not sure how many of y'all actually needed that, but if you need to hear that, there you go. But shout out to the Rant Gang, and shout out to the Capital Letter Club, man. I like to think that's for the Capital Letter Club or the Rant Gang. For either of you who may, like, be at this level, and you just like, you want to start a business, or you want to graduate to something different. You just stopping or stop waiting and get active, man. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other one. All right. Now on to the rest of the show. I gotta get through these. I know it's been kind of a crazy week, though, to be honest. I got a little bit, a few things to go over. I got a few videos to share with y'all today. There was a Dick Cheney passed, and I don't know if anybody cares about that. But RIP to bro. I mean, I probably should have said that for like celebrity spotlight, but to me, he's not necessarily a celebrity. It happened, but and Is That Right, which is the segment that was brought to you by Kicks, the luxury shoe brand, brought to you by yours truly. I'll leave a link in the description. Is that right? We talk about things that happen, over the course of the week previous. But that happened. That came across my desk. I won't even bore y'all with a video about that. I mean, if you don't know who Dick Cheney is, look him up. Former vice president under George W. Bush. And I think, I don't know. I don't even remember. I think he's pretty old, but he actually passed. Let me see. I don't say how old he was, but yeah, he was up there. Eliminate that one. We got some we got some white on white crime out of Texas. Shout out to Texas. And I don't know what's up with this listeria. Listeria keep breaking out, man. It's nationwide listeria outbreak. But let's start with the listeria outbreak real quick. It's kind of important. We need to figure out what we need to do not to get sick, what items we don't need to be buying to avoid listeria. And then we'll go into some of the funnier stuff afterwards. Here we go.
There is a nationwide listeria outbreak linked to ready-made pasta products. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware are not currently among the 18 states impacted, but that doesn't mean you and your family are safe.
Well, Health reporter Stephanie Stahl joining us now. She's been taking a closer look at this for us and has found some alarming issues here playing out.
Yeah, it really is, guys. We usually rely on federal health officials when there is an outbreak like this linked to products that are widely distributed around the country. But the information we are getting from the feds right now might not be so reliable. Here's why. The top of the CDC website has a message that says because of the government shutdown, quote, this website may not be up to date. On October 30th, the agency said the listeria outbreak in 18 states so far has killed 6 people and sickened 27. The recalled products include Trader Joe's Cajun-style blackened chicken breast fettuccine Alfredo, Sprouts Farmers Market smoked mozzarella pasta salad, and Scott & John's shrimp scampi with linguine bowls.
These are pre-cooked meals. They're just warmed up. And therefore, that warming up is not sufficient to kill all of the listeria.
Symptoms of listeria usually start 1 to 4 weeks after eating contaminated food, but can begin as early as the same day or as late as 10 weeks. Symptoms include fever, muscle aches, diarrhea, stiff neck, and even seizures. Listeria is especially harmful to pregnant women and seniors. Officials say it's unclear why there have been a growing number of contaminated food outbreaks.
Every time you turn around, something is wrong with the food, like recalls on this and recalls on that.
One survey found 60% of consumers say they'd avoid the entire food category because of a recall. Now there's an easy way to check for potentially contaminated food with smartphone apps that scan barcodes and instantly check recall status.
Would be easier.
That sound inconvenient as fuck, boy. They ain't got the motherfucking list of days because of government shutdown, they got to come on with this shit, man. I ain't even want to talk about the government shutdown. We definitely are at like this got to be a record for the length of time we've been on the shutdown. But yeah, 10 weeks for either the same day or up to 10 weeks. That is dangerous as fuck. Stiff neck. Like, how do you know that that's linked to listeria? Like, what? I hope y'all got some insurance, man, because insurance is, you gonna need it. You gonna fucking need it.
For us, consumers,
The FDA will also soon require stricter record keeping for high-risk foods to improve tracking. Data from the CDC shows about 48 million Americans experience a foodborne illness every year. And we have more information on this current listeria outbreak and those apps that check on recalls for you, cbsphiladelphia.com.
You got to stay on top of all this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
a lot to deal with.
Great information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steph.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like dude said, every time you turn around, there's some type of foodborne illness, and everybody is not trying to cook like that. I personally didn't cook today because I got all this going on, so I don't really eat like a lot of out foods, but at the same time, I don't eat a lot of ready-made, processed foods. It's convenient though, especially when you single, you ain't cooking for nobody, you ain't got no kids, you ain't pregnant, you just tired, you came on, it's your little lean cuisine, linguine, woo, throw it in there, boop, you up out of there, man. It's you had lunch, you know what I mean? You gotta being young, man, you do whatever's convenient, but y'all please watch out for that. And I appreciate y'all viewing the show, man. If y'all get anything out the show, I mean, if you could just that don't cost you nothing. Subscription, a share, I appreciate it. And if you, feeling generous, if you can show me some love monetarily, that'll be great because it's not free to do this show no more. I mean, it ain't never been free. My time is very valuable. And I do research to make sure y'all, y'all get something. But let's just continue on with the show, man. So now we got another a new drug. I like to keep y'all abreast of all the drugs, for all my, all my people out there with teenagers or whatever, what I'm saying, kids, children who might be out there trying to experiment, we got a new drug out. So let's see what's going on with that, because I ain't even looked at that all the way. I just seen it. But it's like a new form of fentanyl, I guess. It's fentanyl with something else that basically makes Narcan, it renders Narcan like help. I mean, it doesn't help when you know what I mean. But let's just look at it because it's really kind of ridiculous. Northeast. There you go. This is in Ohio.
Believe that. This drug is also presenting a brand new set of problems for everyone to deal with. If someone overdoses Narcan,
law enforcement officials throughout Northeast Ohio received this. It's an alert telling them to be on the lookout for something called purple fentanyl. Reports of purple fentanyl are now popping up all across the Midwest. Users being misled into believing that purple means pure.
Supposedly it gets a higher increased high.
Major Heath Tester heads up the drug task force at the Lorain County Sheriff's Office. He says dealers are cutting this new form of fentanyl with a local anesthetic.
They're mixing it with lidocaine, the fentanyl with the lidocaine.
Okay, so
Lidocaine is easily.
that's what they cut it with. I don't know if y'all know what that is. I don't know what that is. I think they're about to explain it to us. Let me let them do their job.
Obtained and often prescribed in patches for back pain, but it's also transforming an already deadly drug into a much more potent killer.
The Narcan has a reverse effect on it. It's not bringing them back because of whatever the lidocaine is. The mixture of that is countering with the fentanyl.
The DEA recently posted these photos of purple fentanyl bricks they seized along with bags of purple and orange pills. They say purple fentanyl comes in several other forms, including powder and blocks that look like sidewalk chalk. So far, it's shown up in Michigan, Missouri, and Nebraska. While none has been reported in Northeast Ohio, law enforcement says it's just a matter of time.
Here again, now we've got to learn how to stop this.
The purple color of these pills is thought to be a marketing ploy by drug dealers and has nothing to do with the potency of the drug. Law enforcement says if you suspect someone has overdosed on purple fentanyl, you should still try reviving them with Narcan because the active ingredient is still fentanyl and it may help.
That's cold. It might help. It might help. I know the last drug that I had told y'all about, I don't remember what it was mixed with, but it was another form of fentanyl too. And the Narcan hold on. It just basically had to keep trying to resuscitate the people the old-fashioned way, which is probably irritating when you could just hit them with, the Narcan. Because I think Narcan is like an adrenaline shot, but this is like it does the opposite of what it's supposed to do because of the lidocaine. So, and it looked like purple, like they said, like sidewalk chalk. So it's like, how people be seeing the colors. They probably feel like how they did off Breaking Bad. Well, oh, it's the blue dope. It's blue. It means it's better. It's purple. It don't mean it's better. It's deadlier. So just, know that. Watch out for that, man. Y'all out there playing with your nose or whatever, and they got something purple in there. Don't. You popping pills and they purple. I would hope nobody does that, but who am I? Tell you to not do nothing. I'm just saying, watch yourself, man, because it could be some deadly consequences attached to it. Out there experimenting and shit, ladies, gentlemen. Next up on the agenda is I'm gonna say that one because that one, ooh, that was rough. Let's do the well, I guess we should do the bad news first, man. Let's just do now UPS had a plane crash. And I just seen it. It looked horrible. So let's just get that out the way. I know y'all, I told y'all I was gonna talk about the white on white crime. I'm gonna say that for after this. I should have did. You know, it's all right. It's all right. I'm still kind of figuring it out myself. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, and I'm gonna show y'all this the aftermath of this crash out in I don't remember, see. I don't remember what state it was in. Yeah, this is, you know, and my condolences to everybody that lost somebody in this crash, because it looked crazy, man. It's a few people died. It looked like 11 people died.
The number of people dead from this deadly UPS plane crash in Kentucky is now at 11. Kentucky's governor says he believes one of the victims was a young child. Earlier today, the NTSB said the plane's left wing caught fire and its engine fell off just before what you're looking at right there. We're told the plane had just taken off from Hawaii when that crash happened.
Wow. So yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And it's you got to be careful, because you know, with the government shutdown, a lot of these, you know, just the air traffic controllers ain't showing up. They quitting. I'm hearing that there's a lot of people that, you know, I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with people that are inspecting the planes, which it shouldn't. I mean, I don't understand how if they choose things to keep running when they run out of money to run the government, and I just think that those things should be some of the things that those people need to be paid still, man, so they show up. I don't understand why, you know, some of these government officials, they steady getting paid, but they not. Where's the incentive for them to do right by the people that they work for? I mean, that they, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's like the employees ain't getting paid, but the bosses are still getting paid for some reason. Like, what? I'm a boss. I don't get paid until my people get paid. I'm making a point now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get mine until after everybody else get theirs, and I just don't see how the government is run that way. It's just irresponsible and not cool. Here's more on that story about the UPS situation, though.
Arrests in connection with the overdose deaths of 3 19-year-olds, including Robert De Niro.
Wrong one. I picked the wrong story, y'all. My bad. That's supposed to be in Celebrity Spotlight, but yeah, that did happen too. Oh, here you go. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Okay, yeah, there you go. My bad.
And busy area where this plane crashed. Many were actually damaged by some of the debris from the crash. Addie Miners spoke to one man who was actually inside one of those buildings, clipped by the wing of that UPS plane as it went down. Addie?
Jennifer, yes, I did. Khalil Love says he's worked in that UPS logistics building that sits at the end of that runway for around a year. And he says even though it's only about 500 feet from the end of that runway, he tells me he never even considered a plane coming crashing through their building until yesterday when it did.
We lived by a very narrow margin, because if they didn't manage to pull up, I think I wouldn't be standing here right now.
Khalil Love says he's thankful to be alive. That's because the building where he works is about 500 feet away from the end of the runway at SDF, where Tuesday afternoon, a plane came this close to crashing straight into his logistics warehouse.
We hear planes all the time, but this one sounded like super close. All of a sudden, we just hear like a smack, I guess. The whole ground shaking. It's all solid concrete. And, then the power just cut.
Love's building, which is owned by UPS and
I
houses...
want to commend that young man on his verbiage or his, because I don't know what I expected people from Kentucky to sound like. He sounds very intelligent and well-spoken. He doesn't sound like a country bumpkin at all. Shout out to people from Kentucky. Like I said, I don't even know what a Kentucky accent would even sound like, but he does not sound like what I would think somebody from Kentucky would sound like if I expected for them to sound like, let me just, but yeah, and let's continue.
His logistics for multiple companies was clipped by the wing of the plane. Love says he had no idea what happened until his coworker came in from outside.
She's screaming at the top of her lungs like, oh my God, we need to leave. We need to get out of here. We see the plume of smoke just starting to rise out of the sky. Where the plume of smoke was exactly where GFL sat. And I was like, did that place just blow up? And, my boss was like, there's no time to worry about that. We got to go.
Love says all 25 of his coworkers jumped into cars and took off. That's when he filmed this video.
Me personally, I was just kind of like, this is not happening right now. There's no way that something this substantial just happened. But it did.
Love says he has not been back to his work since the accident, but he has confirmed that all of his coworkers are okay. Now he says he's shaken, but thankful to be alive.
It was just mind-boggling that, we all just came so close to being wiped off the census.
Yeah, it don't take much, man. It don't take much. It can happen anytime. So you might want to make sure your life is right, man, with the Most High. You understand me? Because it's just, it ain't no, you don't get, all it takes is one bad thing to happen. And you up there trying to see what God talking about, and you ain't got no rapport with him. You don't know what you already know where you headed. So anyway, man, listen. Okay, so now we can go to the fun stuff because we got some white on white crime apparently in Texas. Shout out to Texas, man. Apparently Texas got some other shit going on too. I don't know if y'all know this, but Texas basically got it. I guess they changed some law out there where, they ain't got no capital gains tax. So if you in Texas, you could probably look forward to a lot of businesses moving out there, and it's probably going to be really crowded, more so than it is already in certain areas. Because, traffic is just like, but now it's about to be, Let's take a look at what's going on out here in this Bass Pro Shop, man. Apparently they out there getting into it with each other. He ain't got no hand. It's a bunch of fried Twinkie eating motherfuckers in there.
Wonder why our schools are falling apart. Y'all are the example that you're setting.
She said that's why the schools are falling apart. They are what they on a field trip or something to Bass Pro Shop. It don't matter.
At a Bass Pro Shops in Odessa, Texas, a massive brawl broke out. As we let this play once more, there are many takeaways, and they are these. The two men who slugged it out paused, went to assist their respective friends, it appears, then just resumed and threw more haymakers at one another. The second is the UT guy running after another and throwing punches with one hand. He'd floor the dude and then mouth off at him. The Bass Pro Shops workers, I'm sorry y'all had to deal with this, honestly. I look at you guys and think, one, what a thankless job. And two, how helpless. Because y'all don't.
It ain't supposed to be none of that shit going on in no Bass Pro Shop. What the fuck is they in there fighting about anyway? It ain't no more. I think if I fast forward, it's supposed to be about bathrooms. Let me see. I think he said something about motherfucker was waiting in the bathroom.
Printed that there was some beef because the bathroom line took too long for some people and they grew irritated. They write, the rumble went down this past Saturday in Odessa, Texas. And according to the police report obtained by the outlet, the clash was caused by one guy accusing another of hogging the restroom.
That's Bass Pro fault for being cheap. Having this one fucking bathroom. I mean, like one, what is it? Like a one stall bathroom? It can't be more than one stall in everything. It's a big ass spot, bro. It's supposed to be like 10 stalls in the bathroom for each group, for the males and the females. Hogging the bathroom. What do you mean? What do you mean? If it lets the dude in there with the door lock playing with himself or playing with his nose or trying to, he might have trying to get himself together. Maybe the man had diarrhea or something. He almost sharted on himself or something. Like, why is y'all in there fighting? It's ridiculous. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I thought I was going to see more hands, but they ain't really had no hands. It was a lot of laying on back, feet kicking up, but I actually thought it would be more shit going on with the food stamp shortage, with these people robbing Walmart. I seen the motherfucker at Walmart trying to steal today. He looked like he was about to go steal though, and he was a single male with too many bags. But they'll let you steal about $1,000 worth of shit in certain areas before they arrest you. Bro probably had about a good smooth $30 worth of shit. You try to get up out of there. Yeah, make it though, man. The struggle real. That's all I got for Is That Right, man? The next segment I got for y'all is Celebrity Spotlight. Now, the Celebrity Spotlight, there's been a couple of tragic things happen, man. And one of those was let me see. It was Robert De Niro's grandson OD'd. Let's see what's going on with that. That's the first thing. And then, we got another one too, where all of y'all was like, why you ain't? It's coming, bro. Chill out. I'm going to talk about that too. But, let's just see what's going on with this because
De Niro's grandson, Leandro.
So
Authorities announced more arrests in connection with the overdose deaths of three 19-year-olds, including Robert De Niro's grandson, Leandro. Speaking at a news conference moments ago, New York authorities detailed the defendants are allegedly part of a drug ring that uses social media to sell drugs.
One particularly dangerous feature of the drug network that killed the 19-year-olds is that it used an online distribution network. The network leveraged the power of social media and encrypted messaging platforms to advertise and distribute drugs to customers living in this city. The platforms used by the defendants included, among others, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, and Telegram. By using social media and encrypted messaging platforms, the defendants were able to specifically target and influence teenagers and young adults.
Joining us live is Anna Schechter, senior coordinating producer with CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. So, Anna,
I want to know what he was on, kinda, because that's the kind of shit I be trying to arm parents with right there, bro. So y'all can see what the fuck is going on out here. If you see something like that in your kid's possession, it's not harmless. You go through his drawer, you see something purple in there, it's not harmless. And then I'm hearing that there's going to be like maybe like an enhancement for people that are using social media to sell drugs. If they find out that you was on social media with the drug dealing, you're going to get like an enhancement. I'm not exactly certain what kind of enhancement it is or when it takes effect. It probably went into effect on November. In certain states, y'all might want to check into that. All you drug dealers out there, they about to start making it to where y'all lose your citizenship, I heard, too. If you're in a gang or if you selling drugs or whatever, you damn near can be considered like a foreigner, and they're going to treat you like a foreigner and send your ass to that prison out in Cuba or some shit like that. Or was it Venezuela or something? Not Venezuela. It can't be Venezuela. They tripping with them. You going to one of them horrible ass prisons where they don't really have no say over what happens to you, bro. But
how is law enforcement tying these suspects to Leandro's death?
Well, these 5 suspects charged in this indictment are charged with distributing fentanyl. Now, they sold it to somebody else that then turned around and gave it or sold it to Leandro. So that's how this worked. So this is the result of many months of investigation. Right after he was found dead in his friend's apartment, he was just 19 years old. This was back in 2023. Investigators jumped on this case. They found the so-called Percocet queen that sold him some of these pills. The medical examiner said he had a cocktail of drugs in his system, including fentanyl, ketamine, and cocaine. And the investigation widened, and they actually have located these people who were doing the dealing around, all around New York. The indictment lays out hotel rooms, other locations where they were doing deals, and they link these individuals to other deaths as well, other teenagers who died. Now, this indictment came down at the same time that another indictment. You're looking there at Washington Square Park. There were 19 people charged in connection to a fentanyl ring operating out of Washington Square Park. And the feds today, the prosecutors and the DEA talked about just the ravage that fentanyl has done, that these illicit drugs, the deadly drugs that...
Yeah, I'm gonna stop that right there. But yeah, I mean, RIP to Leandro, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. I know Rob is probably tripping right now because his grandson got killed behind dope. But y'all keep an eye on your kids, man. The man said the boy on a cocktail of drugs. Ketamine is another one. Percocet, they said the Percocet queen, like these ain't harmless drugs. You know what I mean? They just not. But together, they probably even worse. You know what I'm saying? So y'all keep an eye out on your kids, man. Next up is I'm pretty sure y'all heard about this, but baby Yui which is Big U's son, was killed over like Halloween. And they said retaliatory things will happen like within 3 hours. But they think they even got the killer, like, you know, because, you know, they probably went after who they thought was the killer, as far as like, you know, the people that would avenge Big U's son's death. But it was a lot of little stuff going on with that. As far as like that, they trying to get, you know, they trying to say the Hoovers did it. They had something to do with Gumby and a couple other Hoovers said they ain't had nothing to do with it, you know, because he was over there on Figueroa, but he was on a part of Figueroa that isn't necessarily considered Hoover territory. Is basically like it's basically like I guess it's like let's say it was on 49th, where it's like where they could like a lot of different sets, you know, could convene there, and if you sell pussy, you could do it there. If you from a different hood other than the Hoovers, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it's kind of like I keep trying to think of the word, like a mutual, like, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but basically it's like the neutral zone for most sets. And, you know, the dude that you was talking to was in the car, and he went up to the car, and it had them to be somebody he knew for him to go up to the car, they were saying. So let's hear what they had to say as far as this. Shout out to the individuals who, you know, fair use, by the way, for all the videos.
What's the word with the politickers? There's plenty of speculation about what went down with Baby Huey. Wack asked everybody from the exposers to stand down and not report on the situation. You know, Flocko on the G League exposers team, I don't know if he in a starting five or not, but let's see if he respect Wack wishes, or if he double down and disrespect all the LA gang members again. You guys are the scum of the earth. I think old Coming to American Frederick Jella will have something to say about this. I'm hearing from a few reliable sources that he was in that area visiting the female. That's where that backdoor talk came in at. I don't believe that was the situation though. It was plenty of people outside Halloween night. Some was prowling, and some was just pushing around Ballard up. They probably just ran into Baby Huey on the float. Like, look, that's Buddy right there on the set. Caught him to the car and let they few shots off and skirted off.
Ain't nobody going to a car with niggas they don't know. If you know what's going on, like, you're supposed to know what's going on out there. But anyway.
I don't think they was laying on him. But hey, you never know. I initially seen a Mexican dude detained on the scene in front of the liquor store. Police was running all through his shit. Well, he looked Mexican at least. They was going all through his car and they had him cuffed up. But some footage surfaced from some guys in the community. Some of the neighbors was telling the police like, hey, he over here in my backyard. He jumped the fence. He and the neighbors now. They got up on him instantly. He was suited and booted in all black, so he probably was trying to ball on something. The car that's in the middle of the street, I don't know if it's a G-Ride or if it's their car for real. It could be the dudes who's filming with. I'm not sure. I don't know what made them go on foot, if the area was hot or what. If they crashed the car, I'm not sure. But he was on foot in them people's backyard trying to slip away. Police didn't know where he was at. A lot of people were saying Baby Huey was out of bounds. And why would he go to that liquor store? And why would he do this and that? People always gonna question you every step when they go bad, right? But for the most part, it's some 304s and some 16s over there. That is the Menlos and the 6-7s hood store though. They said they allowed the ism to go on. They allowed the programming. Let's get into this footage of the police gappling them up.
They went through my house and then
Hey, hopped the fence and did some whole shit. They somewhere over
They're
here.
at the neighbor's house. Right
Yo,
here.
blue, blue, blue. Right here.
Just give me a second.
This is crazy. It's crazy. This here snitching. They caught his ass right there. They got him right there. He got that all black on.
What happened? What's up?
Snitching on him.
They went through my house and then
They hopped the fence and did some whole shit. They somewhere over
They're
there.
at the neighbor's house. Right here. Blue. Right here.
Give me a second.
This crazy. This crazy. This here snitching.
I'm not gonna watch it.
They caught his ass right there.
They
got him right there. He got that all black on.
His ass. That could be the car that they jumped out of and started bailing.
Yeah, they don't know shit, man. But I just, you know, I know bro probably got like hella enemies out there as far as like Big U did. You know, it's a lot of people speculating that he had something to do with Nipsey's murder. Some people, you know, think that this is kind of, you know, tied to his karma when it comes to that kind of shit. I wouldn't wish this shit on nobody, man. I know I heard he in the pen tripping, but you know, it's just it's kind of part of it, man. You know, you're a high level gang member, and your kids, as much as you want to look out for them, when you're not around, they vulnerable. I mean, unless they got the game and they moving right, it ain't really, you know, like the dude said, it ain't really, you know, the moves don't come under scrutiny until it go bad, and then it's like, oh, he shouldn't have been over there. It's like, bro, you know, it's sad. He might have been set up by somebody that he knew, because again, you know, hey man, come here, let me holler at you, like. Not in LA, not anywhere really. Like, you know what I mean? Certain cities, you can't just yell out a motherfucking name and they just come over there. It's like, bro, you know me, call me. I don't know you. You know what I mean? But anyway, RIP to him, and you know. The last thing I got for a celebrity spotlight is that nigga Blueface that came home. I don't even want to show no video of that. He done got a little bigger. And, you know, where it is, he wanted to spend time with his kids first thing he got out, you know. His mama was tripping on somebody. It's just, you know, drama. I don't really keep up with bruh's whole thing. I don't watch his show. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he out, though. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. You know, as far as like his skill as an artist, I don't know. I mean, but that's pretty much all I got. Celebrity spotlight. Next up is Worldview. Now, Worldview is kind of interesting. I'll start out with this because, you know, it sounds like Russia got some shit going on with Venezuela. And I haven't really heard a lot about this. So let's just let the video play and we'll react to it together, y'all. Just keep it smooth.
And now moving to South America, where tensions are rapidly escalating across the Caribbean as Venezuela and the United States edge closer and closer to a dangerous standoff. The situation follows a series of U.S. airstrikes, sharp political statements from Washington and Caracas, and Venezuela's close ties with Russia that are once again coming into sharp focus. President Nicolas Maduro said Venezuela and Russia maintain ongoing military cooperation despite the growing tension between Caracas and Washington. In fact, the governments of Venezuela and Russia have signed numerous cooperation agreements covering trade, energy, education, military affairs, drug enforcement, and security, including an intelligence and counterintelligence pact.
We have daily, ongoing communication with the Russian government on all issues, as we have many projects in development. This week, there was major news about military cooperation, something natural, since we've had 25 years of military collaboration.
After years of collaboration, Moscow now plays a crucial role in strengthening Caracas's defenses. A newly verified video by the Army Recognition Group shows Russian-built missile systems deployed near the Venezuelan capital. The system can target U.S. fighter jets as well as Tomahawk cruise missiles. Experts say this marks a significant upgrade to Venezuela's defenses and poses a very real challenge for U.S. air power in the region.
A huge number of Venezuelan cadets and officers have trained in Russia, and many Russian officers have come to Venezuela. This cooperation has been calm, steady, and very fruitful, and it will continue.
Now, in typical Russian fashion, the Kremlin is urging calm, all the while providing defense systems to Caracas. Russia's TASS news agency reported Moscow's call for restraint in U.S.-Venezuela relations, even as militaries of both nations appear to be edging closer and closer to a confrontation. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, in his weekly address on Monday, praised the UN Human Rights Commissioner for condemning recent U.S. airstrikes in South America. The UN official has labeled the strikes carried out on alleged drug traffickers as unacceptable and a breach of international law.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, has said that airstrikes by the United States of America on boats in the Caribbean and in the Pacific violate international human rights law. These attacks and their mounting human cost are unacceptable.
Maduro hailed the statement as a step forward for international justice, saying the world needed a rights chief who defended global norms and challenged crimes threatening the Caribbean.
This is the kind of UN human rights chief the world needs. He is someone who defends international law, human rights, and stands against crimes like these that threaten the lives of Caribbean peoples and, most seriously, the peace and stability of our region.
Yeah, man, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, basically, is what's going on with that, man. You know, Venezuela got big oil out there. And, you know, since America is fucking with Russia, Venezuela reached out, and I guess they like, look, man, just keep these motherfuckers off our ass, bro. We need some missiles or something. And Putin, you know, gave them what they asked for. Who knows what he wanted in exchange for it. But that's that. The thing that I got that's more interesting also out of Russia is the fact that these motherfuckers in Russia then found out where the soul go when you die, apparently. Let's listen to this, because they was able to put some kind of tracker on the soul or something. I forgot how it went. But this was tripping me out. So let's go into this and see what they talking about, bro.
Russian scientists may have figured out exactly where our soul goes after death. Scientists have been studying death for decades, but they've never been able to go beyond what happens to the physical body after death.
My bad, y'all. I pushed the wrong button.
Russian scientists may have figured out exactly where our soul goes after death. Scientists have been studying death for decades, but they've never been able to go beyond what happens to the physical body after death, like if we have a soul or not. According to Russian scientists, they say we do have a soul, and they've figured out how to track it after we pass away. This bold claim comes from Russia's biggest tech giant, Vlad Tech. They've spent the last 10 years developing an interface that ties to the brain that can embed code in every atom of your being. Refer to this code as SIC code, or soul identification code. And they say they can track it after you die. How it works is it actually detects your frequency, or the electricity you give off after you pass away, your essence or your aura. They were able to put this to the test over the last couple days because their first guinea pig for the experiment passed away, and the results were astounding. Immediately upon passing, they were able to monitor his soul leaving the body, but then it almost instantly disappeared off the radar. The scientists attributed this to the fact that the soul was traveling faster than the speed of light, so they lost track of it and weren't able to monitor it. This went on for about an hour. Then they refreshed their computers, and there it was. It was showing 1 billion light years away. Back in 2024, the James Webb Telescope discovered a galaxy referred to as JZ140, also known as JADES GSZ140. It was located as part of the Advanced Deep Extragalactic Survey, the JADES program. What's baffling about all this is that's exactly where they track the soul to, literally billions of light years away. Now, why there? Your guess is as good as mine. Is that where we go when we die? Is that heaven? Those are the questions being asked all over the internet right now, but only time will tell. And these claims haven't necessarily been substantiated, but it's looking like they may have cracked the code to figuring out where our souls go and whether we have them or not, period. If this turns out to be true, this changes mankind as we know it. Imagine being able to track the soul after death. Absolutely amazing. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Did they really make this discovery? And if so, what does it mean?
Look, man, what y'all think? Because, I thought Russia was, I thought China be fucking with shit. Russians track the soul, SIC code, Vlad Tech, like, So I heard that they disappeared after they did that too. Like they oh, y'all like to track shit, huh? Y'all want to know what happens after you die? That's some why like a motherfucker. Like your why is real. You want to find out, so you tracking your energy, your soul to a galaxy that's billions. I don't think that's necessarily heaven. It's probably just like the little storage unit that they put you in until they, till they finish making the new earth and the new heaven. But that's wild. I don't know, I got some skeptics out there, like as far as like what happens, y'all, leave it in the comments if you think that was some real stuff. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I got for worldview. That's probably the most interesting worldview tidbit I've had in a while. But now we got some other parts of the show that I like to get to, and that's a portion I like to call "Don't Be a Weirdo." So today's "Don't Be a Weirdo." We got a celebrity on here, man, and it sounds like bro had so many years thrown at him for being a weirdo. I gotta re-listen to it because it was like, first of all, I don't even really know who dude is, but he's somebody and he freaky as hell. So without further ado, let's get into this and see what he's talking about. What they're talking about as far as this person.
Now at 10:30, a Hollywood producer was sentenced to 146 years behind bars for drugging and preying on multiple women for over a decade. David Pierce will spend his life behind bars.
David Pierce. And what is the purpose of giving somebody 140 years? I mean, I get it. It was severe. But 140 years, you ain't going to be able to do all that time. If he did that bad, why not just give him
the
a death
overdose deaths of an aspiring model and her architect friend.
He was also convicted of raping 7 women. Some of his victims confronted him in court today. Sandra Mitchell live from Hollywood with more on the emotional sentencing. Sandra.
It was gripping and it was grueling. Almost 2 hours of testimony from these sex assault victims and their family members.
He let Christy actually die and kept her for a very, very long time.
The mother of murdered model Christy Giles.
Before he took her to a hospital.
Calling her daughter's killer a monster at his sentencing today.
She wasn't a junkie, some type of plaything for you to take home and shove all the drugs in her that you could, and then leave her and let her die, and then basically throw her out like garbage.
43-year-old David Pierce sentenced to 146 years to life for the 2021 drug overdose deaths of the 24-year-old Giles and her 26-year-old architect friend Hilda Corrales Arzola. Pierce was convicted of drugging, sexually assaulting, and then abandoning the women outside LA hospitals.
Knowing that 2 women did not survive what I did is a weight I carry every day.
It made me sick. It made me mad. And it made me very disappointed in myself for not reporting my experience sooner.
Pierce, stoic in court, forced to listen to 2 hours of victim and witness testimony.
It's not shocking. Anybody that knew him was like, yep, it's long overdue.
Including from his former roommate.
It was a never-ending cycle of parties and him bringing home inebriated girls and raping them.
Tonight, Pierce begins his 146-year sentence with a parting message from his victim's mother.
You enjoy every single day in prison that you have, my sir.
And one more sad and almost unbelievable note to this story. A 25-year-old police officer who also was raped by Pierce and was set to testify today in court at his sentencing was killed last week in an accident while on duty. We are live tonight in Hollywood. I'm Sandra.
Wait, it was he raped a dude too? Bruh, I don't know if that's what they were saying, but that sounded, I mean, rape is rape, but what?
An accident while on duty. We are live tonight in Hollywood. I'm Sandra Mitchell, KTLA 5 News, Sharon Micah. Back to you. Raped by Pierce and was set to testify today in court at his sentencing was killed last week in an accident while on duty. We are live tonight in Hollywood. I'm Sandra Mitchell, KTLA 5 News, Sharon Micah. Back to you.
Thank you, Sandra.
Freaky ass, but don't be a weirdo, man. Dude, that's the weirdo of the week right there. And you know, what is there to say? 147 years. I mean, he dropping the women off at these hospitals after he raped them and drugged them. Look, now the drug part, some of them women just love to do drugs. You can't tell them nothing. I'm not saying I'm not trying to victim shame. I'm just saying, but they ain't raping themselves. So, you know, but 140 years is still slight weight. Whatever. Right, this is a long time to be in prison. It's probably worse than getting put to death. Would you rather get put to death or just sit in the prison for 130 years, 40 years? Maybe leave that in the comments. Not only that in the comments. I don't want to know. I don't feel like reading that. That's weird. But that's all I got for who got active. Is that, I mean, the next segment is Who Got Active, brought to you in part by a fragrance I developed entitled Acquisition, which is a unisex fragrance. You know, shout out to me. When you're ready, let me know. Leave a, you can DM me and we could talk about getting you a bottle of that. You're really interested. I don't got a commercial for it yet, but it's coming. But I don't know if y'all heard about the 3 monkeys that got out of it was a transport that in Mississippi that had like some diseased monkeys on it. I think it had like 3 monkeys with herpes on them and a couple other diseases. They got out, they've been gone, but it was a couple people that got active, you know what I'm saying? They had to knock one of the monkeys down. So we got 2 active individuals this week. One got 1 monkey and one got another monkey. I don't know. The other one, I think they captured it because it was like one that was still on the loose after they had this lady killed that monkey. But let's see who we got, because it's a lady and a dude. And drum roll, please. They're Black. They was trying to protect their families, and they got them one. They got them one, and let's just see what they're talking about.
Jessica Bond says her family's mornings are usually pretty quiet. No dogs barking and no monkeys in the front lawn. But this Sunday morning,
it's the monkey. So I said, oh snap, let me get my phone and let me get my gun.
Jessica Bond had to make a decision after her 16-year-old son spotted a monkey escaped from a crash on I-59 5 days prior. The teenager says he started recording the monkey as his mother got out of bed, but things started to escalate.
My small dog was chasing it, and when it got like close to the woods, the monkey tried to hide at first, but then the dog ran up on it and it swung at the dog.
I bagged up down this road and I stopped about right there, and he was on top of that bin right there, and he left from that bin and went and jumped on the railing of that porch. I sat in my truck, and when I got out, I said, okay, do I sit here and wait for it to run away?
Bond says she contacted the game warden and the police. Before the authorities arrived, Bond shot the monkey twice on this porch with 3-inch Magnum shells. She says at the time, her children were her main concern.
I have a 3-year-old, and, what if it come back out, hide in the woods and come back out and try to attack her later on? We love animals, so it's like not like I'm an animal killer,
So for Peter, don't be mad at her. She was protecting her kids, but I'm just shocked at her aim. The monkeys ain't that big, and she got them twice. So wherever she, kudos to her. Go ahead, let me finish the story though.
I want to just kill the thing, but I mean, it's my baby versus the animal.
This video shows Mississippi Wildlife and Fisheries removing the monkey from Bond's property, leaving a trail of blood behind.
So now I have
blood all over
disinfect and clean off everything through here.
The capture of this monkey gives us a closer look at the condition of these primates. Bond says she didn't notice any odd behavior, but there were obvious markings that made her worried.
When you zoom in, you could see like it was a tattoo on it. And, these is lab rats, basically. They getting tested and poked on. You never know what they really have.
Now, with no follow-up search parties.
The other one could have been sitting in the woods watching everything go down.
And no idea where the other 2 monkeys are. Bond is urging everyone to stay on high alert.
Get out here and find the rest of these monkeys. And for all the people that's being rude and negative, get out here and search for the animals and find them yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy. Nah, I know where another one is. I'll tell you right now, he got smoked by another brother. And this is our other activated individual of the week. And hey, man, look, he's going to take care of their kids, man. Make sure the kids are safe, bro. A monkey versus your kid, what you going to do? What you gonna do?
Monkey has been shot and killed by a Jasper County resident. On Monday, George and Carrie Barnett, they spotted a monkey running across County Road 39 near exit 118 in Vosburg. George says that the monkey terrified him and his children. He grabbed a rifle and returned to the area where the monkey had climbed a tree in the woods. When he approached, the monkey began snarling and showing its teeth. Barnett fired 2 shots, killing the animal. He says that 2 men claiming to be with the transport company arrived after he called 911 to recover the monkey's remains. The Barnetts say that they made the decision to shoot to protect their family and nearby neighbors from potential harm.
And man, I was just thinking about, you know, my kids, and my mom is 85 and my aunt is in her 70s, and just other elderly people in the community that like to be in their gardens and stuff like that. I couldn't imagine if something would have happened to them, man. And my mom has been terrified to go outside at night. You know, she calls us in the middle of the night saying, "These dogs are barking. I hope it's not that monkey." So I just felt like at that point, you know, our families, the community was more important than this thing that doesn't supposed to be here.
The Mississippi Department of Wildlife and Fisheries says that 1 monkey is still unaccounted for.
That's crazy, bro. They got him though. So yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them, man. They got the monkeys, man. At least 2 of them, man. 2 down. I think I said I think they captured 1, but hey, shout out to them, bro. Like that's pretty much all I got for today's show, man. I hope y'all got something out of this, man. It's been real, man. Like I said, it's late, so I got to get up out of here. But that's it for me. It's Jamerson Ballard signing off. I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a productive week.